The world's population has exceeded 8 billion people. But the interesting thing is that in some countries of the world, the number of women compared to men has increased significantly. It's hard to believe, but in some countries, there are significantly more women than men. Imagine walking in the streets of these countries and encountering a population dominated by women. What is behind this population imbalance? Maybe historical, social, or even biological reasons play a role in this. In the following, you will get to know 10 countries where the presence of women is more than men, and you will discover the hidden secrets behind this fascinating phenomenon. Number 1. Armenia. During the 20th century, Armenia went through several crises and wars, from the problems that occurred under the rule of the Soviet Union to the wars that it fought with the neighboring country of Azerbaijan, all of which led to a significant demographic change in this country. According to experts, the economic problems in Armenia caused a large number of men to migrate to neighboring countries to find work. This led to a heavier population balance in favor of women by 54.97%. Number 2. Belarus. Belarus is considered one of the poorest countries in Europe. The standard of living in this country is very low, and the economic prospects are limited, which has made many men prefer to migrate to other European countries rather than stay in the country. Number 3. Ukraine. Ukraine, which is currently in one of the most famous wars of the 21st century, was facing the problem of disparity between the number of men and women even before the war, and the casualties of the war with Russia will definitely increase this disparity. According to experts, considering that this problem of Ukraine started after the Second World War and has not been solved until now, it is not thought that there will be a way to adjust it in the shadow of the bloody war going on in the country. Number 4. Latvia. The small country of Latvia is one of the European countries that is located on the shores of the Baltic Sea and has one of the highest ratios of the number of women to men in the world. The strong addiction of men in this country to cigarettes and alcoholic beverages has greatly increased their mortality due to heart diseases and various types of cancers, and this has caused a decrease in the population of men compared to women. The average life expectancy for men in Latvia is 68 years, while the average for women is 78 years. In addition, the average suicide rate among men is significantly higher than that of women. Number 5. Russia. According to experts, Russia, like its neighbor Ukraine, is still suffering demographically from the aftermath of World War II, in which the Soviet Union lost an estimated 27 million people. However, many Russian men are victims of heavy alcohol addiction. This has become even more after the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, and over the past 30 years, many Russian men have suffered from the devastating effects of alcohol and smoking. Number 6. Lithuania. This Baltic Sea country, like its neighbor Latvia, is a victim of the destructive behavior of its men's society. The average addiction to alcohol and smoking among men in this country is much higher than that of women. Today, more than a third of the Lithuanian male population is addicted to tobacco. In addition, the Lithuanian society today is a victim of the migration of its young men and women to find work in other parts of Europe, especially Germany and England. Number 7. Georgia. Georgia is a small country with a population of 3.7 million people, of which 52.98% are women. Georgia is one of the oldest Christian countries in the world and has a long history of conflict and war to gain independence from its powerful neighbors such as Russia and Turkey. Number 8. Zimbabwe. It was from February 2021 that women in Zimbabwe took 31.9% of the seats in the country's parliament, however. This figure is not very promising considering the proportion of women in the country. In addition, it was announced in 2020 that the average mortality of men aged 15 to 60 in the last few years is much higher than the global statistics. However, this average has recently decreased, and the possibility of a narrowing of the demographic gap between men and women in the future is more likely. Number 9. Portugal. The process of increasing the population of women in Portugal started in 2010, and with the beginning of the trend of gender equality, despite the improvement of women's conditions, the country's economy has not been in good conditions over the past decade. As a result, a significant number of Portuguese men preferred to work for a better future. Other countries to immigrate, their most important destination was Brazil and several member countries of the European Union. Another reason for the increase in the population of women is the decrease in the average life expectancy of Portuguese men, which statistics say is 78 years, while the average life expectancy of women is 84 years. Number 10. Estonia. This country, like other Eastern European countries, is still suffering from the consequences of the Second World War. Besides, it is struggling with some general health problems, including addiction to alcohol and tobacco. Each Estonian man consumes 17.5 liters of alcohol per year, which is exactly twice the amount consumed by women in the country. Also, Estonia has one of the highest suicide rates in Europe. 12.2 suicides per 100,000 people, and men commit suicide 5 times more than women. About 11,000 people leave Estonia every year. This departure or migration is definite or temporary and for work, but what is clear is that most of the travelers are men who leave the country to find a better economic future. And now we have reached the end of this adventurous journey. We saw how, in these 10 countries, women surprisingly outnumbered men. But this is just the beginning. If you are looking to discover more secrets of the wonderful world of statistics and population, be sure to subscribe to us to be the first to know about these new adventures. The world is full of interesting mysteries, and we are here to discover them with you. So be ready for more interesting experiences. And goodbye until the next videos.